Hello everybody and welcome to Math Help with Miss McCarthy. I am so excited that you're here today. These episodes are actually powered by you, meaning parents and teachers. You may have a homework problem that comes home, and teachers, you may have a problem in your upcoming unit. Maybe you're feeling a little stumped and you're not really sure how to tackle it. So I encourage you to send those my way. You can go to mccarthymathacademy.com/mathhelp. Send me your questions there and they could be featured on an upcoming episode. We're going to get to today's problem in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a heads up because after we break down today's problem, I'm going to show you some more video lessons based on what we're doing today. So you definitely want to stay tuned until the end for that. Let's go ahead and get to it and let me teach ya. Today's math help problem comes from Grace in Hollywood, Florida. This is a 5th grade math problem. Grace is a parent that got a problem very similar to this, and she was like, how do I even go about doing this on a number line? What? Let's go ahead and walk through this problem together. It says represent the sum. Sum means that we're finding the total of 1/3 and 3/4 on a number line. Notice this says represent the sum. It doesn't say to use a number line to solve it. It just says to put the sum on a number line. So we're going to get to this part in just a minute. We'll come back to the number line part in just a minute. First, let's figure out what the sum is. We have 1/3 plus 3/4. And when I'm teaching fractions, especially in 5th grade, I try to remind students that when you add or subtract, your denoms must match. When you add or subtract, your denoms must match. Denoms is just short language for me for denominators. Right now, we have the denominator of 3 and the denominator of 4. Do they match? No. So what do we do next? We need to find the least common denominator that they have in common. How do we do that? Well, just like this. We take these two denominators and we skip count until we get a match. So let's count by 3s. I'm going to use my multiplication mashup song that you can find on YouTube to do that. So hit me with my 3s pretty please. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. That's probably too much. I bet we have a match. Let's see. Let's do the 4s. If you know your 4s, then you should sing along with me. 4, 8, 12. I can stop because we have a match of 12. What does this match mean? That is what our denominator is now going to be. Let me change colors so you can see what I'm doing. So now we need to rewrite the fractions, and I have the students say it like that. Rewrite using our new denominator of 12. Now, all that we're doing is creating an equivalent fraction to what we already have. 1/3 is equal to how many 12ths? They're going to be equal fractions. It's not magic. We're just rewriting it to be equal. So how did we get from 3 to 12? Well, we counted by 3s 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Multiply by 4 on the bottom, same on the bottom, same on the top. We got to keep them equal. So 1 times 4 is 4/12. This means that 1/3 is equivalent or equal to 4/12. Let's do the same thing for the next fraction. So 4 times what? How many times did it take to get from 4 to 12? We counted 1, 2, 3 times. So times 3 on the bottom, times 3 on the top. 3 times 3 is 9. When we add or subtract, our denoms must match. Now they match. We have 12 and 12. And that denominator is just going to slide across. So now we just add the numerators. 4 plus 9, or 4/12 plus 9/12 equals 13/12. This is called an improper fraction or a fraction greater than 1. And sometimes it's easier for students to understand 13/12 if we rewrite it as a mixed number. Or 12/12 plus 1/12, which equals 1 whole, because 12/12 is the same thing as 1 whole, 1 and 12/12. This is going to be our sum right there. Or this one too, 13/12. But now let's get to the number line part of it, okay? So I think I have enough room here. This is going to represent 0, and I'm actually going to take it. You might not be able to see, but I'm making the arrow extend on and on forever. And let's say that our 1 whole is right here. Okay, that this is also 12 twelfths. So remember, we had 1/3 plus 3/4, but in order to add fractions, our denominators must match. So in order to do that, we figured out that the denominator was going to be 12, which means that each whole needs to be broken into, as I'm saying that, each whole needs to be broken into 12 twelfths. So that means I need to continue my number line. Why am I doing that? Well, I need to create an opportunity for 12 twelfths on this side too. So if our denominator is 12, each whole needs to be broken into 12 equal parts. So let me do that. I can do that by first cutting my wholes in half like this. That would be where 6 twelfths is. I can cut those in half. Half of 6 is 3 twelfths. Half of 6 and 12 twelfths would be 9 twelfths in between there. And then I can just squeeze in the other ones. 1 twelfth, 2 twelfths, 3 twelfths, 4 twelfths, 5 twelfths, 6 twelfths, 7 twelfths, 8 twelfths. We have 9, 10 twelfths, 11 twelfths, and then do the same thing on the other side. Now we're just showing what we did. So we had, I'm going to use red because I'm changing it to my 4 twelfths. So we had 4 twelfths. That's where we're starting at. We said, okay, we have 4 twelfths starting from 0. This represents 4 twelfths. And then we added 9 twelfths. So if we add that, that would be 1 twelfth, 2 twelfths, 3 twelfths, 4 twelfths, 5 twelfths, 6 twelfths, 7 twelfths, 8 twelfths, 9 twelfths. Notice it's past the 1 whole, so that would be 1 and 1 twelfth. And that would be my answer. So that is how you could represent what you're doing on a number line. But remember that you have to make sure the denominators match. Grace, thank you so much for providing us with this problem for today. I know that you were not the only one with this question, and I hope that it has helped you, everybody, to understand how to go about solving a problem like this. Now, if you know that you have students or your child needs more help with adding or subtracting fractions, I encourage you to check out one of the sites above. If you're a teacher, go to the one that says /teacher. If you're a parent, go to the one that says McCarthyMathAcademy.com/family to learn more about the memberships that I have available for you. If you are a parent, these memberships provide a flexible and affordable alternative to tutoring. And if you're a teacher, I know what it is like to be a teacher in the classroom, and it is so awesome when you have more than one teacher working with kids. So I am here to support you. That's why I do what I do, because I know what it's like to be a teacher, and I'm so thankful to support teachers like you. So go to one of those membership plans. We're going to go take a look at the teacher's plan so you can see the bronze level of resources. These are the video lessons, and parents, you will have access to the same kind of video lessons with your plan. The only difference is between the bronze plan and the family plan is that teachers, your video lessons are organized by benchmark, while parents, yours are organized by unit to make it easier for you. So let's check it out. I'm inside the teacher membership. I am clicking on 5th grade. We're working with fractions. And we are adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So you can see we have a video lesson that focuses on adding and subtracting fractions where you only need to rewrite one fraction with a printable student guide. Here's one where you're adding and subtracting fractions where you have to rewrite both of the fractions like we did in the video, and then addition with fractions greater than 1 and subtraction with fractions greater than 1. Over here are your printable guides. Let me go to this one because that's what we were working on today. Okay, so for this problem, we have 2/10 plus 1/3. You can see we're rewriting the fractions. We're also modeling it with a visual model over here. So not a number line in this case, but a visual model to see what's happening. That was a sneak peek into the bronze plan for teachers. Teachers, you have your choice between a bronze, a silver, or a gold tier, depending on the types of resources that you are looking for. So definitely check that out. If you have a question that's kind of got you stumped, go to McCarthyMathAcademy.com/mathhelp. Send me your questions. That's how I power up these videos. I want to answer real questions from real people out there. So thank you to Grace today for doing that. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode.